Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Peachy from your WCA Earth Science class, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial for you on your mid-latitude cyclone portfolio. It's kind of a mouthful. So this one is in Unit 4, Lesson 4 of your second semester course, and I am going to be making some kind of modifications on this one as well, just so that you can do all of it on the computer and you don't have to print anything out or use tracing paper or anything as it is suggested in the text. So the portfolio is found on pages 580 and 581 of your book, which I thought I had opened, but I keep having to reopen. So this is the textbook, and this is the pages. And if you read through this, it's going to talk a little bit about how you will need to use tracing paper to actually trace a map, and then you're going to mark that tracing up, kind of find different fronts on it, find different types of weather, that kind of thing. Well, we don't really need to do that because we have available modern technology. So instead what I've done is I put a template on my website. So if you go to my website and you can click on your student message boards to access the link to my website, you're going to find under Earth Science B Portfolio Tutorial Recordings, and then under Mid-Latitude Cyclones, I'm going to bring you to where it says Template. Click on that, and then you can download it as a Word document. And this is what it's going to look like. So you're going to be filling this out. This is a template. Put your name, Earth Science, title of the portfolio, which is the Mid-Latitude Cyclone portfolio. Talk a bit about what this portfolio is going to be about. You should write a brief description in your own words about what mid-latitude cyclones are. You should talk about the Coriolis Effect, and in your own words, should hypothesize in which direction around the low pressure center in the map given in the book will the winds be blowing. So this is your low pressure center, and you need to hypothesize if the winds are going to be blowing, say, are they going clockwise, counterclockwise, to the east, to the west? I mean, there's a variety of different directions that you can choose from here based on what you've read and what you know about mid-latitude cyclones and low pressure systems in the northern hemisphere, because that's where this is supposed to be, okay? After that, you're going to do, for the materials and methods section, you're going to explain in your own words how you determined wind direction for the arrows here, and how did you figure out where the fronts were and what type of weather occurred. So what did you do to allow you to figure that out? We'll talk about what goes on the map momentarily, and then finally you're going to answer conclusion questions on page 580, questions 1 through 4. Okay, and we'll talk about those in a moment as well. So let's move back to your book so we can get some directions as to what to do with this map. So the book actually asks you to take a piece of tracing paper and lay it on top of the hardcover textbook, and then trace the map with a marker and then use that tracing. We don't need to do that. We've just copied the map, an image of the map, and put it into a Word document, and you're going to use some of the drawing tools and stuff like that to figure out what to put on the map. Okay? All right, so we're looking at the procedure. We're skipping the parts about tracing and transferring the letters. And now it says use colored pencils to color the cold air, cool air, and warm air areas on the tracing. Let's see what our picture looks like. Okay, so we have these labeled already. We just need to color them. So here we have cold air, cool air, and warm air in this area. So I'm going to have you use some of the tools at the top of the screen here. You can do insert, and we can go ahead and insert, say, some shapes. One of the things you can do is you can do kind of a free line here. So this is a curve, and that is an arc, and this one is a scribble. I think this is just the free line. Let me see if this works. I don't know if this is going to work yet or not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw the outline of the shape. And I just am clicking on, I'm making sure I connect these end to end. And I can be as precise as I want to be here. I don't have to be perfect. So I'll show you what I'm doing up here. I'm selecting from this little box because I've used those tools before. And so that enables me to then use them a second time, right? So I'm going to kind of just keep, and I'm making sure that I connect them end to end so that I'm forming a closed shape. Again, this is a trial, so. So I'm not sure if that one's closed. I think so. Nope, it doesn't look like it is. I want that to be closed for sure, so I'm going to make sure I move it so that it's closed. The reason why is because then I'm going to go and click on this here. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can insert maybe I can't do that then. Okay, I wasn't sure if I could do this or not. I've never tried it, so it's not allowing me to do what I thought maybe it would. So anyways, since it can't do that, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to pick, this is actually what I wanted, this free form shape. So that's the thing that I want. That's what I was trying to do, and I thought that's what I was doing. So you're going to click here, and you're going to hold the mouse down. And every time you want a corner, you click again, hold the mouse down, click again, hold the mouse down, click again, hold the mouse down, click again, hold the mouse down. Okay, I'm going to have to double click like that. Okay, perfect. So once I have that, it will fill it in. I don't want this to be so opaque. So I'm going to go Shape Fill, and I'm going to go to, I really want to change the translucency here. So okay, so if I select more fill colors, I can change the transparency so that, and this is supposed to be what? Cold, it says. So I'm going to pick a darker blue here. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay. All right, well, we'll just call it, we'll just leave it like that. That works. So then I've colored it, right? All right, so how are we doing on time here? Okay, we're good. So then I go to Insert, Shape again, and I'm going to pick that free form. And I'm sorry I picked the wrong one to start with, but let's look at that again. Insert, Shape, and then this is the free form one. That's the one that I wanted. So then I'm going to click over here. This is the best one because you can really try to trace the outline. Oh, see, I screwed up. I'm going to undo now. Undo. Okay, try again. Gotta be careful because if you double click, it's going to stop it for you. So, all right. Did I pick the right one? Yeah, I did. It's kind of messy though. I'm kind of being sloppy just because I'm going fast, so you guys can be a little bit neater. Okay, so now I double click inside the shape here, right? Did it work? I think it did. I'm not sure. We're going to try to fill it. I'm going to fill it with red. There we go. Now if I right click on that and I go to Fill, and then I go to More Fill Colors, that's where I get that transparency, right? So I can make that transparent. Pretty. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the cold air. So I'm not going to do that part simply because I'm kind of running out of time here with our picture. So then the next step is it says, use the colored pencils. I did that. Okay. Identify and label the cold front, warm front, and occluded front on your tracing. This should be pretty easy because you're going to match this with the ones in the book. So here's your front systems, right? You've got the one with the blue triangles, the one with the red half circles, and the one that has combination. Red half circle, blue triangle, red half circle. So look those up and label them. You can insert a text box here. And that's over here. We get text box. And then what I usually do is I click on draw text box. And then I can go ahead and I can just put, say, a little text box here that says cold front, right? And you can resize this to however big you want it. I can move it so it's out of the way down here, okay? So I can make sure that I do that in the proper location. And then, this is the hardest part. I want to make sure I have plenty of time for it. It says, draw arrows that show direction of surface winds at point A, C, E, F, and G. As far as I'm concerned, there's no reason why you can't just do them at all the locations. I think it makes things way more accurate. So we're just going to pick all the letters that are on here, right? So we have, let's see, A, B, C, D, E, or F, and G right there, right? So we're going to draw arrows to show winds. Well, what we know is that air moves from an area of high pressure to low pressure. Okay, so we know this. However, we also know that as the Earth is spinning on its axis, okay, so it's spinning on its axis counterclockwise as viewed from the North Pole. Because of this rotation, that anything in the northern hemisphere, if it attempts to travel in a straight line, will in fact be deflected to the right of its intended target. Okay, so if I were to draw, say, an arrow here, right? So if it starts here and its intended target is here, but it's spinning, what happens is instead it lands to the right of where it was expected to go. Okay? That's why we call the Coriolis effect. So what that means is that our arrows, and I'm going to insert a shape here again. This time I'm going to pick an arrow. This means that the arrow should be going from an area of, say, high pressure to low pressure. So let's say I picked E. It would go from high pressure to low pressure, like this, and totally can't see that arrow. So we're going to change the outline to something more visible. But the problem is it also gets deflected to the right. And you got to picture yourself standing at point E and looking toward the low pressure center to the right of you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take this arrow and I'm going to move it to the right of its intended target. Okay? So we're not completely deflecting it all the way 90 degrees. It is approximately halfway between. Okay, so it normally would go straight. It wants to go to the right, so we kind of put the vector right in the middle. So it gets deflected kind of to the right, but it's also pointing inwards as well because it's showing us it's going from an area of high pressure to low pressure. All right, so you're going to do that with every single one of those. Again, draw them. Make sure the arrow is going from high pressure to low pressure. Look at these circles. They go, or these lines go in circles. So this is 1004 here, and it is here as well. So remember, your arrow should point from high pressure to low pressure, but then get deflected to the right of its intended target. And then complete your follow-up questions on page 580. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to give me a call at extension 2204 or send me a webmail message. Good luck, everyone.